Hello, welcome back to the Gay Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Amir Hamid. Joining me today will be Brant Bo.
Hey, was I quick enough there?
I don't know.
I was a little slow. I'm not gonna. I can't even deny that one.
It was still like
I was a little distracted by my own Darth Vader shirt in
Oh, yeah.
celebration of Disney Plus coming out yesterday.
Ooh, The Mandalorian.
Oh, I have not watched it yet, but they have what do you call it? Miracles on there. Love that movie. The Rookie, one of my favorite baseball movies of all time. Invincible, Vince Papali. How are you?
Okay, but we don't.
Great section of like throwback sports movies. Remember the Titans?
But we don't get ESPN Plus with it, right?
No, we don't.
Which is trash. So if you want to buy it, I'm not saying to do this, but you should really just set a VPN to the US.
Mm-hmm.
Buy it in the States.
You didn't hear from us.
Yeah, get it with ESPN Plus.
Yeah,
and then just use a VPN whenever you're using it.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to just buy it, definitely worth it. The library is sick.
It's kind of trash that like you can't watch like that would be the one point to get it for me. I don't know.
Big Disney guy. I don't know.
Oh yeah.
I like, dude, they've got all the Marvel movies, all the Star Wars movies. They're coming out with more of both. And I mean, then you get all the vintage Disney movies, you get all the Pixar movies, you get all these wicked ass sports movies too that are like, I can't complain. I'll watch Remember the Titans 12 times. Don't worry.
Alrighty. We had an eventful weekend. We always really do.
Oh, this was
Did we ever?
Yeah.
What was the number one story you would think from this weekend, Brant?
Gotta be the Leafs going 0-2, right?
Yeah, Michael Hutchinson.
Michael Hutchinson.
0-2.
No, they went 0-1-1. Sorry.
Yes, thank you.
Just my apologies.
Give them their due.
Yeah. They did take a tough shootout loss.
Yeah.
And there might have been something that happened in the Saturday game that led to a bigger story, but I don't know.
What would that be?
There was an old man waving his fist at clouds. And,
Mike Babcock?
No, not that old man this time. A little older.
Oh.
Might have got himself fired.
Really?
Might have. Definitely did, actually. Fucking.
Wow. So Don Cherry was fired by Sportsnet.
Bye.
Some would say much too late. I don't know. Like this.
I would say years too late.
This could have happened a long time ago.
Yep. I wrote an article on it, and I went back just to see what he's done. And there was like times in the early 2000s that he was just ripping on women in sports and women in the dressing room and women watching sports. And
that was the worst. Like I saw that. Did you see the one where he was trying to be either like a millennial or like he was trying to be this new school person where like he dressed up flamboyantly, but not his normal flamboyant self.
Like the pink one?
Where he dressed up, I think, as he dressed up as a gay person, I think.
Okay.
But then at the same time was just trying to act like a hippie kind of soft individual, like that. And it was a joke. It was an absolute, and like just watching it over, you're just like, oh my god, this is awful.
There was the time in, was it Rob Ford's inauguration where he showed up in pink and he was chirping the lefty pinkest something or others and how they're this and that. And I'm like, holy shit, dude. Okay, yep, wicked. This is nothing new for Don Cherry. Basically, is what we're getting at in all this is like, yes, his firing came off of this stupid rant that didn't need to happen. Well, I want to get to that a bit.
Yeah.
But like, yes, it came off of this rant, but it's not the reason he got fired. It is the straw that broke the camel's back in a long line of stupid shit that Sportsnet just can't have anymore in 2019.
Yep. Should we get to the comment itself and then we can kind of discuss that? Because like, there's
Do you have it in front of you?
Yeah, I got it pulled up. Give me one
because
second.
I know the general idea of it and I know the main part that people are angry about, but I don't know the exact wording.
So I have a snippet of it, but I can pull up the entire thing.
Yeah.
But so basically he was making remarks on how Canadian immigrants benefit off the sacrifices of veterans, and they don't wear poppies to remember them. And basically how he goes downtown and he sees no one's wearing a poppy. And he said, quote, "You people come here. You love our way of life. You love our milk and honey. At least you can pay a couple of bucks for a poppy or something like that." These guys paid your for your way of life that you enjoy in Canada. These guys paid the biggest price. All right.
Yeah.
Let me preface everything.
Yep.
I can agree with the original sentiment that Canadians don't, they take for granted the sacrifices that the men and women that put their lives on the line to protect Canada. Like, I 100% agree that if you look at like the US and the amount of patriotism that they may have, it pales in comparison.
They love their soldiers down there.
Their servicemen and women.
Everything they do, they're just like, respect them. This, that does not matter who you are, what you've done. It's like, it doesn't matter what the soldier take is. It's like, they're right. They've served for us. Respect these people. Exactly. We're not the same. We're not the same about anything in our country. Like, Americans are just so patriotic about everything. Like, they're the best. They're the best country in the planet to them, and it's probably not true, but to them,
they
try
believe
telling them that. And that's great. That's how you should be. That's how we should be. That's how people in China
Everyone should have
people
national
in Africa.
pride.
Yeah, it everywhere, same thing, but we're not, and that's where these rants come from. And I understand what he's trying to say. Or I understand his point, kind of like what you said, like all Canadians should buy a poppy. Yes.
They should be more, Canadians should be more patriotic. They should be thankful for
respect the troops,
the men and women that put their lives on the line.
Yep.
But to single out all immigrants, and basically like, we understand that he's targeting people of color. And like, the milk and honey comment that irked me the most.
That's what I was thinking, because you get everyone's just like, oh, he says you people all the time. Like, yes, he does say you people all the time. I get that, but a friend of mine at work, we were talking about it yesterday. It's like, it's not the you people comment that has people pissed off. It's the words before and the words after that went with the you people comment that make you that lets you know who he's talking about.
Exactly. But
it gives you context of the you people, as opposed to being like, all right, you people as in Canada, you people all need to do this. No, it was you people that come here and buy and take advantage of this and that and this and that. You people need to do this. So it's like, I didn't come over to this country. I'm not a part of that group, according to Don Cherry. I didn't wear a poppy. It was mostly on me. It's like, I never got around to it. It just kind of snuck up on me the day of, didn't buy it.
Okay. There's multiple, like you said, it's not just the you people, it's everything surrounding it. Because he also goes on to say, basically, you go outside of the GTA, basically, and you see people
small towns,
they wear their poppies. Well, who's in small towns? White people.
Me.
Exactly. So it just points to me that, like, if you look in the GTA, I wouldn't say it's predominantly Indian or like people of color, but it really is.
It's a lot. There's a lot.
I would say there's it's like either 50,
I'd give them more than 50.
I would agree.
Without the numbers in front of me, like if you go down,
and if you're if you're already singling out the GTA, and then you're saying milk and honey and all of that, you're singling out those people. And you can't do that.
To say he wasn't talking about immigrants is just straight up ignorant too. Like, I've seen that a lot. Like, oh, he's not talking about immigrants. He's talking about everyone. I'm like, you're just being ignorant. Like,
and then so that's the point. The point with Don Cherry is that he's been this same guy the entire time, and it's not even to the people of color. It's to look at how he treats Swedes and Russians, and how everyone else can act. He can act like the most flamboyant. My opinion matters the most. Listen to me. But when I celebrate on the ice like I'm Evgeny Kuznetsov, that's a big problem to him. Because he's basically saying, "Oh, well, he's not Canadian. I have the right to. You don't."
He's been wrong for a decade.
And then, like, it's also a thing where, like, he just mispronounces people's names.
Oh my god, dude!
I don't know if you saw, ignorant. Like, someone put it on Instagram. It was just different times of him like messing up names, and I'm just like, this is a joke.
There's this guy I follow on Twitter. His name's Adrian. He every time Cherry screws up, he tweets out the clip of it. And like, there's times where he's just like, and I'm like,
That's
that
why
was
I
literally
do
the sentence. And like, there's nothing there. And I'm like, there's literally no words in the sentence. It's just that. And it's like, thanks, Don. I'm like, holy shit. Just rough.
And he'll be like, oh, that's what I said. Close enough. Oh,
yeah.
I said that.
The one thing, this is so he did a handful of interviews after he got fired saying like, oh, I won't apologize for what I said. I said it and I meant it. And then 2 days later or a day later, whatever it was, he comes out and he does an interview with.
He's doing a media press tour, man.
Yeah,
and
I know.
All he was saying was that, oh, if I had were to change anything, I wouldn't have said you people. That's the only thing.
Yeah, which you know what that you okay. So he did. I want to say it was CTV. I could be wrong.
He did it with everyone. He did CTV.
There was one specifically.
Global.
It was CTV.
He did.
Which one was he?
24.
Which one was he standing in the driveway talking to the guy? Was that CTV? That's the one I saw.
I saw a bunch of them.
Regardless, in that one, he's talking and he's like, oh, so what did you mean by you people? He's like, oh, I meant everyone. I'm like, bullshit, dude.
Yeah.
Like you can't come out the day after and be like, no, I meant what I said. I worded it the right way. This is how I wanted it. And then come out 2 days later and be like, oh no, that's not what I meant. It's like, dude, I know 100% your PR guy just came to you and said, listen, man, you need to save face a little bit here. Go tell them that's not what you meant. We all know 100% that's what he meant. That's the type of guy Don Cherry's been for years. Mm-hmm. He's probably a nice person to be around. I've heard lots of great things about Don Cherry, and he does a lot for the community. He does a lot for the troops, all of that stuff. But he still makes these kind of comments, and you know that this is still the type of person Don Cherry is.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't come out and tell me 2 days after you just said you stand by your word that all of a sudden you're like, no, I didn't mean it, and I would have apologized if I would have had one more Saturday. It's like, no, man, that's you're only doing this because you're trying to save face at this point. And realistically, he doesn't need to. There's a lot of people that are still on Don Cherry's side, which I think is ridiculous.
Like I logged into Facebook because it was someone's birthday yesterday and I wanted to make sure it was their birthday. So I was just checking. And I basically found out everyone in my past life that's a racist. Like I saw on the videos there, you know, that Joe Warmington guy from the Toronto Sun who's basically tweeting out all the Don Cherry propaganda he's just Don Cherry's buddy. He's doing him a solid. Yep. And he did an interview with CB24 and it was just blatant lies that like the guy's just telling and people are just like sharing this video that's pro Don Cherry. And I'm like, they're all white individuals. It's crazy. It's ridiculous.
Yep. Man, like Facebook is a nightmare right now. I'm looking at some people's opinions and I'm like, man, you guys are looking at this way wrong.
Yeah.
Like you're not firing Don Cherry just because it's like, because people are complaining. You're firing Don Cherry because this has been a decade at least of this same shit over and over. And it's getting worse. Like this is the first time I put it in my article. This is the first time that he's ever made a statement that tried to divide Canada.
Yeah.
And once you start getting into trying to divide people, that's no longer what Sportsnet's trying to do. Like their slogan, I don't know if it is anymore, but like it used to be like United by Sport. It's literally going against your slogan at that point.
Yeah.
Like your whole face is we're uniting everyone and this is what we're here for. And then you have the main face of your hockey operation, I'd say, out there trying to divide everything. And I'm like, you can't have that, man. He goes against your brand. Regardless of who he is, like it's no longer the fact that he's a Canadian icon. You can't just save your job based on the fact that you've been doing this for years. It's like once you start turning into this divisive factor, then you need to go. It's time.
Like two things can be true. One, this needed to happen, and two, you can be sad that Don Cherry is no longer going to be really involved 100% with hockey.
Yeah, I've had this conversation numerous times already. It's like I grew up watching Don Cherry, and that was a huge part of my childhood. He was the only person I've ever seen that could come on weekly and have an entire room stop and listen to what he had to say. He was an idiot half the time. Some of his takes are horrible, but everyone would stop and listen. And you every time you'd watch hockey on a Saturday night, you're sitting there in the first intermission. Which how many other broadcasts can you sit there for an entire intermission and just like it's just not a thing. Yeah. He was the only guy I've seen that can do that. So he was incredible when I was younger, and you grew up watching it, and you're always going to remember that. But it's a different time.
I think in the last couple of years, there's been kind of a change.
Yeah,
in that, and I've talked to you about this. I talked to more about this. I could care less about Cortus Kona right now, but I think the second intermission is you need to tune in for the Saturday headlines because that's when they dump all the news on you.
Everything.
And so to the people that think, oh, you need Don Cherry for hockey to be he became bigger than the attraction.
Yeah.
At a point, like in let's say like 10 to 15 years ago, he was bigger than the sport itself.
Yep.
And the sport, because positively, it's a good thing. It's outgrown him.
Yeah.
And I've seen a lot of people that have said the world has evolved. Don Cherry hasn't.
Yep. That's the biggest thing.
I think that's exactly how it goes.
He hasn't adapted ever.
Yeah.
That's the worst thing.
And that's his thing. He's like, I'm not going to change who I am. I'm like, well.
And sorry, man, you're not going to last in this business. It's just how it is. Like, yes, you've lasted 30 years. It's tough to say you're not going to last. But if you want to keep going into your 90s, then you're not going to last.
Also, him saying it's ironic that I got canned on Remembrance Day. What have you done to serve your country? You didn't go overseas
you're not one of these troops.
Pay the ultimate sacrifice. You didn't do that.
Yep.
Yes, you evolved hockey. You're a Canadian icon.
Yep.
But to say that what you did, it's a shame that it happened on Remembrance Day. I think that's a little senile.
Yeah. You know what he did do in his career?
What?
Can you tell me how many Stanley Cup champion teams he's coached?
0.
None.
Yep.
So this is the big name coach that we have preaching to everyone how to win cups.
Mm-hmm.
Guy never did it. Won a Jack Adams once. You know who else has a Jack Adams?
Meg Babcock.
Patrick Waugh. Oh. Patrick Waugh has a Jack Adams. Is Patrick Waugh the coach that you want running?
Babcock have
I don't know if he might have one. Like this, anyone can do that job, man. It's like he did a great job of it, but like, don't tell me he's the hockey analyst.
Everyone, and that's the thing in the last couple of days. Everyone's like, well, Sportsnet has a fine replacement, a ready-made replacement in Brian Burke.
No, they have a carbon copy in Brian Burke is how I see it, but a little less racist, little less controversial for now until he gets that segment of his own. But I don't like that
I thought it was eye-opening though, like some of the players that came out and what they said. Like I talked to you about this before we went on. Basically, Bo Horvat, he was a lifelong Hockey Night in Canada fan and obviously Coach Corner fan. Yeah. And they did a segment on Sportsnet a couple of weeks ago about how it was appointment television for Bo and like he couldn't wait for Don Cherry to come on. And even him was like, hockey's supposed to bring us together. Yep. And you can't have that. So even one of Don Cherry's biggest fans, a guy in the league, could recognize like we can't have this in the sport.
No.
And in a time where there's more people of color in the NHL than ever, or at least from different walks of life, you can't have someone trying to divide people.
No. Especially when you're trying to expand the game.
Yeah.
This is a time where like hockey, the NHL had their slogan of like, what was it? Like anyone can play. What was I don't know. It was like they were trying to be more inclusive last year.
Brian
Hockey's
Burke's
for
kid.
Everyone.
Hockey's for everyone. Brian Burke's kid. He's in charge of
Is he?
Yeah. In charge
of like they're trying to push this narrative of like hockey's for everyone, and Sportsnet's got this united by sport, and it's all about bringing people together. You can't have someone in there trying to split it apart.
And then there was like Nas, who he was defending Cherry, which
Nas is an interesting one.
Which like, could people have taken it out of context?
Yeah,
sure. I think
100%.
I think what Don Cherry is trying to relay, but he did a terrible job at doing it. Was people should pay more respects on Remembrance Day.
Yep,
fair, agreed. Yep. But the way he did it,
not right.
It's indefensible.
Yeah,
in a way.
You can be upset about Don Cherry being fired. You can't tell me it was the wrong decision though.
No, because he was, even in his apology, he was half-assing like I would have went on Saturday and apologized for my comments.
Yeah, I think it was like, I think I would.
Yeah.
No,
it was so half-assed, and I was just like, if this is how you were in the meetings, Rodgers had absolutely the right idea in mind in canning him because they had to.
So apparently too, there was like, they asked him, he's like, if they would have just asked me to apologize, then it would have been fine, but they asked me to do something else.
What else would there be?
I'm assuming that would have been walk back and say what you said was wrong. Like, I think what he was looking for was like, I'm sorry if I offended anyone. I didn't mean to.
Which is the worst kind of fucking apology.
Yeah, because
I offended anyone.
It's you don't see what you did was wrong. You just see that it offended a lot of people.
Yeah.
And I think that's what the issue was. I think they wanted him to be like, listen, man, you need to right your wrongs. And he's just like, no, I'm not changing my opinion on this. So, and the thing, go for it.
The interesting thing was like the Ron McClain apology, which I thought was heartfelt, and people were like,
I can't believe he apologized before Don Cherry did.
Yeah.
I'm like the whole story comes out. I literally turned Coach's Corner off on Saturday because I didn't care what they had to say.
Yeah.
And so I
was too busy wallowing in shame.
Yeah. So I wake up the next morning and
from
I hear I hear that Don Cherry made some comments. I'm like, oh shit, I'll look that up later. And then so I pull it up and I'm like, ooh, that's Don Cherry-esque. Okay. And then Sportsnet apologizes shortly after. Ron McClain was around the same time as Sportsnet. And then Ron McClain goes on the broadcast and has this big heartfelt speech. And I'm like, that's the most Ron McClain thing. Like, he's so good at being able to talk in these moments and just have these speeches that resonate with you. And the thing, he did a great job.
100%. And the thing that, like, I thought Ron was he got too much flack for, like,
he doesn't listen to Don Cherry speak.
That was my exact thing. He kind of like tunes out Don Cherry during the middle of whatever tirade he's in. And then at the end he'll like tune back into like the last couple of words. He's just been Don's babysitter for the last 30 years, and he's done an incredible job at it.
Yep.
But it's one of the tougher jobs because, like, how can you? He's got to combat him, but like in the moment, I'm sure he doesn't realize the you people and like
he's not
all of the pointed remarks. At
he's got that same look on his face every time Don Cherry speaks. It's that turn to the side, kind of stare off in the distance. Stare. 100%. And it's the same thing every time.
100%.
I hate that he got blame at all. And the fact that people were going after him. Even Don Cherry was a little going after him, like, oh, I thought Ron would have said something.
Ron threw me.
It's not up to Ron to say anything. Like, use your head, man. Like, it's stupid. The one thing we've made it this far without getting to, and I wanted to bring it up just kind of because people are being ridiculous about this, but there's a lot of comparison to the Justin Trudeau blackface comments. This is so different.
Not even close.
Yes, the Trudeau thing's not good. I'm not here to say Trudeau's fine, forgive Trudeau, whatever. Have your opinions on that all you want. Trudeau's situation happened, was it 15 plus years ago, regardless. He was younger. He wasn't in the public eye. He did it when it was a different time, when I'm not going to say it was okay, but like it was less of an issue then than it was now. Like, people weren't aware of it. And then he didn't do it on a public space. He wasn't out there on a platform where people can see it. It was a picture that he took as a kid that ended up getting released during his election campaign. Yeah. And yeah, that's fine. It's shit. But right away he apologized for it. He's like, I was wrong. I forgot about this picture. It was wrong of me, even in the time, blah, blah, blah. And he went off, had a legitimate apology about the whole thing. Don Cherry, on the other hand.
So it was 2001. He would have been, so
18 years ago.
He would have been 30, 29.
Okay. So you're still young.
Yeah.
Like, it's not as young as you think, but like you're young enough that it was a long time ago.
Yeah.
It's different times. Don Cherry, on the other hand, goes out in 2019 on a public space like Sportsnet and uses his platform to start throwing political statements out. Like, you're trying to divide people on a like publicly shared platform, I guess you'll call it. And it's completely different. He wasn't apologetic about it. He didn't walk back what he said. He literally made these comments on the air and was just like, yep, that's it. Sorry. take it or leave it. Don't like Justin Trudeau, on the other hand, goes back, apologizes. Very different situation. You can't compare the two. I hate the fact that people are trying to use this as like their political, to like throw their political views around too. It's like, I'm not standing here defending Trudeau by any means, but I'm also not here bashing him for it. It's like, man, we get it. You're not happy with how the election went off. This is a very different situation. Don't mix the two.
And like, look, he said it in his thing. I live in Mississauga where nobody wears one. Downtown, forget nobody wears a poppy. Like, what? And then you had John Tory coming out and condemning him. You had the mayor of Mississauga, Bonnie Crombie, she was like out against him. There was multiple reporters and everything, because like it went online, like it was on Twitter, just Don Cherry trending, and then I saw it and I was just like, yep, can't do this.
I can't believe I Stand with Don Cherry is trending, or was trending.
Yeah,
like that frightens me, that there's that many people that are on his side, that it trends in Canada. I'm like, holy shit. We might be the United States.
Yeah, basically. Like,
I had a lot of hope for us, but maybe not.
It's not great.
Stupid.
The worst part is that we're definitely forgetting. Like, there's so many layers to this story. It's actually unreal. Yeah,
it's crazy. We could literally spend an hour and a half on this if we really wanted to, just sit here and break everything down. But I don't know if that's what you want to do.
I don't know. I could, but like,
I've been talking about it for 2 days straight. Like, it's nuts.
Because like, look, he went on Fox News and fucking like, he's up there, and it's like, it's such a joke.
Yep.
He goes on all the different Canadian media platforms to try to walk it back. I'm trying to look up
after he pretty much said, "I'm not walking it back."
Yeah.
I just don't like it. Everyone's going to have different opinions on it. And I think you can sit here and listen to us, and you can be screaming at us right now saying we're a bunch of fucking idiots. Or you could be sitting there being like, thank you. But it's different with everyone. I think the one thing we all need to agree on is it wasn't the wrong decision by Sportsnet.
No. Sportsnet, I think they did kind of the right thing where they distanced themselves from him like as soon as the comments were made. They put the apology out. I don't know if it was the next day or whatever. But then they were going to wait and see if it was going to blow over, which sure, you have the right to do that. And then they saw it wasn't. And then they obviously had a meeting with him to discuss the further plans. And they weren't happy with it, and they fired him. Like, that's literally, it couldn't have been. I thought it was the right way to handle it. You can't just fire him right away.
It was the right move. I don't disagree with what they did. I think it's hilarious that people are canceling their Sportsnet subscriptions and stuff, because it's like, congrats, you're just going to miss out on 41 Leaf games a year and most of the playoffs. But hey, have fun doing it. Cheers. You think Sportsnet gives a shit? No. They're owned by Rogers. Rogers makes enough money to not worry about what Sportsnet's doing.
Oh, I also found it hilarious that Max Domi was one of the guys that was interviewed for a lot of these things.
Yeah. Why?
I don't know if you've seen like the Max Domi stuff with like Trump and stuff, but
not a good guy. Not a good in some ways. Not the right guy to have talk.
Good.
Bo Horvat's probably the right guy.
Yeah, Bo Horvat, great guy.
Yep, one of my favorite captains in the entire league. Just because he's not the best player in the league, but he's probably one of the best leaders.
Yep, agreed.
Love it.
And like, I was proud of how the Leafs handled it, like, because they were like, look, Don's meant a lot to hockey. It'd be arrogant to think otherwise. But this is how it's got to be. The one thing that is interesting to just see is what happens during first intermission. Yeah,
that's what I was thinking. Like, this Saturday is going to be real interesting. Like, what? Like, do you just move Saturday?
Do they just straight up cuck him and go like Brian Burke right away?
Like, right away. That's my buddy made a good point on Twitter. It was kind of interesting. He was, it's a discussion to have for sure. But he was saying, why don't you move hometown hockey to Saturday? Because then you get like his hometown hockey's done well on the Sunday. I don't know if it would translate
hometown hockey.
Personally. No, I've never watched it.
Same.
Like, I don't watch a lot of Sunday hockey unless it's a Leaf game.
Yeah,
but. Like, maybe because like it's done well, people do enjoy listening to these stories. Why not put it on like a bigger scale and see how it does? I don't hate it. I can see why people don't like it.
Like Hockey Night in Canada. I don't know.
Yeah,
it's just different.
That's fair.
I like the people. I think it makes you wonder how long. Like, I'm a big fan of Jeff Merrick. Like, I like him. Mm-hmm. How long more does Ron McLean have to go? Who knows? Like,
I think he's there till death, man.
He's probably
he's smart enough. He adapts, and like he's so good with everybody. It doesn't matter, old, young people.
He's very 21st century. Like he's great.
He's a god in Canada.
It's not Don and Ron. It's Ron and Don.
Yep,
that's the thing.
Yep,
like it takes two to tango.
Yep, he was the better half of the two.
Yeah,
not a hot take. No. Do we want to move on from Don Cherry?
No. I wanted one more. So what do you think? I disagree with moving hometown hockey to.
Okay, Saturday. Yeah, no, I mean, I feel like it's just a discussion point where, like, I don't hate the idea. Maybe don't call it hometown hockey anymore, but have that style where, like, you're broadcasting out of like somewhere in Canada, and it every weekend you're somewhere different, and you have the same group of guys, but like you're doing this more hometown hockey style where you get the stories in the middle of the first intermission and after the game and before the game and stuff like that. And I think it'd be a cool idea. I don't know how logistically it would work.
But then what happens on Sunday?
I was about to say, you're kind of pulling away from yourself on Sunday, though.
You can't spread it out onto two different days.
You're robbing Peter to pay Paul.
I think, yeah. Is that a saying?
Yep. It's a white person thing.
Yeah, never.
It's basically like you're just taking away from this guy to give it to the other guy. Yeah.
Yeah. No, really, you don't say you're robbing Peter.
Yeah. I didn't know if you knew Peter and Paul.
Because, like, the thing is, I've never thought, like, you need coach's corner. Like, the thing is, Brian Burke was never a coach, right?
No, I don't think so. Don't quote me on that, but I don't ever recall him being a coach.
So,
Patrick Waugh, bring him in. That guy's fun. He was a coach. He's a Jack Adams. They have the same amount of awards. Fuck it.
Fire Mike Babcock, put him in there, and then coach's corner.
Honestly, if he was available, I think that'd be the move.
Hey,
what's Craig McTavish? Craig McTavish just got canned from the KHL and had a ridiculous interview. Do you see some of the stuff he was saying there?
Torts.
Give me he's still got a job though. So
fire Torts. Let's go.
To do that. Sportsnet's just stealing coaches from the NHL. Like, yeah, your job's done.
Torts would be a good guy to do it.
Oh yeah. Yep.
All right. Let's move on now. To actual,
we could keep going forever, but there's still a lot of other things that we got to cover, and there's some big stories in the leagues.
Let's try to get done by 7, and so we can watch the return of Zach Hyman. But first, Mitch Marners out for a minimum of 4 weeks because of an ankle injury, and we have some insider info. I don't know how, but
Morrow and Mitch are best friends.
Morrow and Mitch Marner are best friends.
Morrow throwing Mitch on his story like they're buddies. Get well soon.
I'm not your guy. I'm not your bud.
Fuck. Good guy. Doesn't get him on the podcast, so
I know.
Not very happy about that.
No. But he's really our only chance at getting guys on the podcast.
Yeah. Please, Morrow.
Look, this absolutely blows. The Leafs lose their most dynamic winger. Arguably. This is pretty good how we did that. But look, they lose their most overpaid dynamic winger.
They lose the biggest hit to their cap that they have.
It'll be interesting to see how Mitch Marner being on IR actually helps the Leafs with their cap hits, because basically now they don't have to.
Don't have to send Spezza down.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Mitch.
Huh? Yeah. They would have just waived him. Right?
I think. Or they would have tried to trade him. I like that Spezza doesn't have to go anywhere. Thank you, Mitch Marner, for risking your ankle to keep Jason Spezza on the team. That's a real team player move. It was
never a thing with me that I didn't like Spezza being in the room. I like him in the room. I just think that I'd rather not expose Dmytro Timashov to waivers. Because
Nick Shore would have been my pick. Because Nick Shore is not dynamic enough to play the wings. So it's just Spezza can come in and play the wing. So to me, it was like you want that 13th forward to be able to play anywhere.
Yeah, but I have Timashov that'll play the wing.
Yeah.
Arguably better than Spezza.
Yeah, but Timashov would still, I guess he's not in the lineup. Never mind. when Hyman comes back, right?
Yeah.
Oh well, we don't have to worry about it though because Mitch is out, and
it's an absolute blow to the team.
I kind of like it.
No other way to put it.
If we can stay afloat, I kind of like it because I want to see a new look on the power play. Don't get me wrong, losing Mitch Marners sucks. Don't like that guy. The guy's incredible. He's getting paid too much money, but he's incredible, and he does some ridiculous things out there. But the power play looked like shit.
Yeah, and the one thing, like with like the last couple of years when they've had their power plays, the two separate lines where they didn't have all of their offensive players on one line, where they had the Bozak, Kadri, JVR, Riley, who was the one on the point?
Jake Gardner?
No, because that's on the other one.
Oh, sorry. Was it Matthews?
No. Oh, Marner. Oh. And then you had Nylander, Matthews, and you just had them throwing cross ice fucking seam passes through, and it was just working beautifully. And
now
they can't do it now just because they're on their opposite wings for the one timer. But I think Nylander being on that first unit and able to use a shot, that'll be interesting because he's got a better shot than Marner.
And it's not even close. Cannon. Absolute missile.
Yeah.
But he's shown it the last few games.
He doesn't get to use it because he's on that second
PP2.
He has to be the playmaker.
With offensive weapon Alexander Kerfoot.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, I love Kerfoot, but
there's no one on that second guy that creates a shot.
Tyson Barrie, who just rifles pucks over. I didn't know that he was actually this bad at hitting the net, but like this is nothing new for him. Like apparently last year in Colorado is the same thing. Like he just rifle pucks over nets, and like
that's the thing. Like Tyson Barrie, he led the league in power play time last year. He was he was on for basically the entire time. Yeah.
But he just like apparently it's just like it's more of a volume thing for him. Like he takes a lot of shots, a lot of them miss the net, but when he hits the net, it's going in. Like you see it now, like he's taking cannons from the point. Yeah. It's just going 2 feet over the net. Once you lock that in and you're hitting that corner, he'll score a few goals. But
I wouldn't hate putting him on the first unit right now. Like you can move Janssen off the first unit and have a first of
2 D-men on it.
Matthews, Nylander, and then the 2 D-men.
Yeah, I don't understand. We have such an offensively minded D-core. Why not use 2 of them? San Jose does it. I know they're not a good look this year, but.
And then on the second unit, would you put Muzzin or Dermott?
Muzzin.
Yeah.
Why not? Maybe both, depending on what you need.
So then second unit, you would go,
It's a mess right now.
Kerfoot, Yanni, Kapanen, and then Muzzin and another skater. Oh, Janssen. Boom. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think we figured out the troubles. But the Mitch injury.
Somebody call back up Babcock. The Mitch injury sucks. It takes 1 year lines out. I mean, Tavares is still going to drive a line, and we'll see whoever gets to play with him how they do. Have you seen line rushes for tonight? I haven't looked.
It's showing up on Daily Faceoff as Janssen, Matthews, Nylander, Hyman, Tavares, Kapanen. And I like that Tavares line. No?
Captain looked very good with JT earlier in the year.
Hopefully
it works. Yeah. We'll see. Hopefully it works. I'd like to see Kapanen to succeed in that role because I thought he had a really good chance to succeed with Marner and Tavares. Maybe just Tavares on there and having Hyman to grind a little more for him so that Kapanen doesn't have to do all the grinding. Maybe that helps him out. Maybe he gets a couple more chances to put the puck in the net.
And that's the thing. I've always liked Tavares. Like when he was with the Islanders, he was never with those small dynamic guys because I don't think he needs that. I think he needs like a couple of like just
get him the puck
around him.
Yep.
That's just like a Kapanen, sure, good. Hyman, sure, good.
Yep.
But like if you put like Tavares with Mikheyev and Kapanen, like that's fine. Like the thing that I just haven't liked over the years is the need to put Tavares with Marner. And I just don't think that you need to.
No sense. I think you need to put I think that one is like you need to put Marner with Tavares. I don't think it's you need to put Tavares with Marner. I think it's having Marner out there. So it's like, you know what? This kid's going to give the puck to Tavares a lot. And Tavares is going to make him look really good. And And I don't think Marner's not a. I don't want to say Marner's not a line driver, but he's just not that 94-point guy without John Tavares, I think.
Sure. And the injury, it worries me because Mitch Marner, he's a dynamic player, and your skating has a lot to do with it.
Yeah.
And if he's not the same when he comes back from the injury, like it says a minimum of 4 weeks, I think it's 4 to 6
They said they will reevaluate it for it, right?
So I would say it's at least like 6 weeks.
Yeah.
I would say like Christmas is optimistically the target date.
I feel like we shouldn't bash on Morrow's new best friend.
Yeah. Inserts photo of Morrow and Mitch, but no.
Yeah.
You done with Marner?
I think so. Well, I'm not done with Marner, but
so Michael Hutchinson was waived from the Leafs after what game was it that he was absolute dog shit?
All of them. Who did they just play? It was Philly and
it was the game after.
Oh, Chicago,
where
Robin Leonard showed up and stole the show with 54 saves. Thank you. Not bad. Guy's gross.
Yeah, it hurts when your goalie gives up, what was it, 4 in the first period?
Yep. Yikes. And then you lose 5-4. Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, I didn't expect Hutch to be much, but like, say percentage above 900 would be cool.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I know he plays on the back-to-backs. He also, I think I saved it, but there was this tweet. I want to say it was from Dmitry Filipovich, and essentially, so it was rebounds per 60 minutes, and Frederik Andersen sitting at like a 1.24. Hutchinson was sitting at like 3.56 or something like that. So I'm like, yeah, you can blame the fact that he's on a second half of back-to-back, but he's still getting less shots than Freddie is, and he's just not controlling the puck. Like, it's just, if you give up that many rebounds in a game, you're gonna get scored on a lot. Like, doesn't matter if you make the first save. If the second one goes right to his stick and he's burying it in an empty cage, that's on you a little bit. You need to be able to control your rebounds.
And watching like the Leafs play that game, the Philly game, I think that their passing's more crisper. I don't know, like it's more tape to tape, and you're hearing it like on the ice. Like, I think that they've played well in these games, even though they've lost them both.
Yeah,
I think that they're starting to hit their stride. So should we trade back for Garrett Sparks since he's in the AHL right now?
In the AHL, posting a 954 save percentage. How are you? Holy.
1.6 GA.
That guy is going to be the greatest AHL goaltender of all time and never make an NHL team as a full-time guy.
Basically.
It's crazy.
But if he's making league min, I mean...
Do you hate Kasimir Kaskisuo coming up?
I mean, I think that anyone that says that they know what Kasimir Kaskisuo is going to give us, they don't know anything.
They are lying to you.
Exactly, because goalies, they're all a flash in the pan. Like, you could have the most random guy come up and he could turn into the...
Like Buddy from Colorado came up yesterday, made 40 saves in a shutout in his first career game because Pavel Francouz got hurt. Yeah.
Really? I thought Francouz was in net.
Yeah, Francouz was in net, and he got ran over in the first period by Mark Scheifele. So they bring in this kid whose first career start is in place of Francouz that just got his bell rung, makes 40 saves, gets a shutout. How are you? Crazy.
Wow. Okay, so here's Kaskisuo's numbers this year. They're good. They're really good. But you just can't. AHL.
I don't know, man. That's AHL
to the NHL.
Like we just said, Garrett Sparks is probably the best AHL goaltender of all time. Did he look very good as a Leaf?
928 save percentage, 2.13 GAA. If you're a goalie that's playing for the Leafs as a backup, give up less than 3 goals.
Yes, give up 3. You don't have to give up less than 3. Give up 3 goals a game, and I am happy.
Yeah. If you give up 2 goals a game, fine.
Yes. No problem. Thank you.
That's the thing. Everyone's complained like about goalies. Oh, they lost like a 2-0, 3-0 game. Well, if my offense isn't scoring any goals,
it doesn't matter who's in there.
Fault.
No, exactly.
Win the game.
No. I don't hate it if he comes up here and he gives me a 908 save percentage. Yep. That's fine. You're my backup. You're playing on back-to-backs. Give me a 908.
Yep.
Don't give me an 890 or an 880 something. That's not good. Your job is you need to be able to be the backup of this team. You need to know that you're playing 3 times, 4 times a month if you're lucky.
Yep.
And you need to know that you need to be ready for those 3 or 4 games.
Bingo.
That's
I'm
it.
trying to
Hutch
see who's the other goalies for the Marlies. Is it Ian Scott? I don't know.
Ian Scott's still in the dub, I think.
Is he?
Yeah, I could be wrong. But
all right, who's the other guy? They drafted Ian Scott and then did the year after or something.
Oh, Joseph Wall is in college.
So it's Joseph Wall, right? No, he's still in college?
I thought.
Googling it. Nope, he's with the Marlies.
Oh, is he? Okay.
Yep.
So he's there back up?
Yeah.
He's gonna be good. I don't want him coming up though.
Because 890. No, he's 21. He's 896, 3.31 goals a game.
He's 18.
2-1. 2-1.
He's 18 in a league with men. Like the AHL still got a lot of really good hockey players. It's better than anything he saw in college. I promise you that.
What's a T? Is a T a tie?
Do they have ties in
the AHL?
No. You got to do shootouts, right? Maybe that's like the shootout loss.
Maybe. I don't know. Because he's 2-1 and 3.
So he's lost 3
shootouts. Total? No, that's not total.
He's lost 3 overtime games? Maybe.
I would assume so.
That's weird. Yeah. I think that's enough time spent on.
Yeah. So what's your thought on the TAFE schedule? Basically, so just to summarize it, Taves complains because Chicago has one of the worst schedules in the league, being in where they're located. Yeah, whoop-de-doo. So the idea is basically if you're playing a team within your division, play them basically all in a row so that you don't need to travel.
Yeah, so like baseball style, basically.
Yeah. So if we're going to Boston 2 or 3 games a year, which how many do we go? 2 or 3?
3, I think, because you play 6.
We play all 3 in a row. Which sure, fine. I don't hate it. I don't love it. Like you're telling me the idea, and I'm just like, shit. That those games are so important. We're playing them all at once. Also, I'd like to spread out those games because those games are really fun to watch.
Yeah, I want to see them in November and then January and then April
near the end of the season.
Yeah,
because they're great evaluation points during the year, and just load them all up into one spot in the season. It's just not smart.
If I get Boston at the point in time where our team's playing like trash, that sucks because you're going to lose 3 division games just like that, and you're going to go on and you're already 3 back of them. Yeah, that sucks. I hate that.
Yeah, and you'd still have to, like, for the teams that you only play once a year, it's just boom, boom, boom. Like you're going on the road still. Yep.
I think Jonathan Taves should be a little more concerned with their contracts on that team as opposed to the schedule of the league. The schedule's not the reason. Schedule's not the reason you guys are losing, buddy. You're paying Brent Seabrook's first pairing money to be a healthy scratch.
I wonder what Tip would say about. I wonder what Tip would say about Taves complaining. So the Taves schedule. I like thinking of interesting ideas to make the league better and just to evolutionize travel and stuff. Cool. I just don't think it'll work.
I think, and we mentioned this before the podcast, I think you should if you have back-to-backs, you shouldn't have to travel. You should play both the games at home, and that's it. There should be no point in time where you go, I play at home the first night, and then I travel 7 hours to the next place the next night.
Agreed.
I think that's the only way to do it. I don't think you can have, that's a lot of games in one little stretch too. I think you need just have your back-to-backs. The schedule's not horrible. Just don't travel so much, I think is the one thing.
So Ilya Kovalchuk, after signing the Patrick Marleau deal last year,
I love the Kings.
Done.
What are they doing?
Me and Morrow talked about this on Saturday, and I was just like, the Kings and the Capitals come into Toronto, 2 teams that have won the Stanley Cup. Great.
Yeah.
The 2. Doughty's not the captain, but he's basically the captain. And they get Ovechkin to talk about the Leafs. Well, not even the Leafs, just how to win the cup. And I was just like, there's no reason why these guys would want to give good advice, because it helps a team that they could potentially face, especially in Ovechkin's case. All they want to do is rile up the media, drop a bomb, and then leave.
Yep.
That's it.
Yes.
A bomb like the Kovalchuk contract.
They just want to stay relevant.
Yeah.
I love that literally last year they looked at Kovalchuk and they're like, yeah, this guy ate $6 million a year. And now this year you're like, please don't come to the arena.
It's not even that. It's we signed him last year. Last year they even found out, oh, he's not good.
Shit.
We'll have him for another 2 years after this.
It took not even a year to be like, please just stop coming.
Like, at least as a Leafs fan, we had Marlowe for the 1 year who was sick. He scored 20 goals.
The second year, he was fine. He was there. He was good.
Yep.
They're looking at him like, can you just Marian Hossa this, please?
Yeah.
Just say you're allergic to something.
Go back to Russia.
Ice. They changed the ice. It's the North American ice is just bad for your skin.
it gives me a rash, but apparently that's true. Like Duncan Keith was talking about.
I heard that on Chicklets,
and he was like, "No, it was like an actual thing." I was just like, "Huh, cool, I guess."
I think it's it's not tough to tell Duncan Keith, "Hey, look, if they bring up Hossa."
But the Kings are right in that they should move on because your team sucks. I think they should trade Doughty. Just like go all in on a rebuild.
That's a tough contract to trade. So many years for so much money. There's not a lot of teams that can be like, yeah, give me $9 million of Drew Doughty.
Doughty, retain on Doughty to Nylander's number
for the rest of his life. Like that's a lot of years to retain. You're paying. So if you, what would you have to? What's he making? 10.
Yep. I think
so what would you get him down to? 7, let's say. So you're paying $3 million a year for the next 7 years. Ouch. $3 million that you're just throwing in the air, like here you go, because you're
paying taking $10 million basically.
Yeah, that's yikes, man. I don't know.
Okay, retain to 8.
Why don't we just trade Marner for Doughty 1-for-1?
No, get out of here. No,
helps this year. Doesn't help for the future, but helps this year. Marner's out. 4 to 6 weeks. Next 4 to 6 weeks, we have one of the best defensemen in the league.
Tyson Barrie for PK.
No.
Why not?
I like Tyson Barrie.
He's shit. He's not good.
I like Tyson Barrie.
He's not good. He's not good. He's not good at defense. And if he's not scoring, what is he good at?
Good. He should be bad all year long, and then we'll give him a hell of a deal at the end of the year, and then he'll come back and he'll be Tyson Barrie again. And then he'll be the $9-10 million guy he should be. I love it. Be shit this year. Continue to be shit this year, Tyson Barrie. Thank you. We appreciate you. He's just trying to help the Leafs out. I love it. I just love that he's lowering his contract value so that the Leafs can afford him and Muzzin at the end of the year. And then we have Muzzin and Barrie for the next 6 years. Fire me up. Thank you. Thank you, Tyson Barrie.
Let's move on to the NFL. So Colin Kaepernick having a workout on Saturday with an NFL team.
Wild. This is a week where we've literally seen Don Cherry get fired, Colin Kaepernick come back, and then some ridiculous shit in baseball too. Mm-hmm. Wild weekend.
But the thing is, so the NFL is doing him this solid, right?
Yeah.
And it's really not what it seems. I don't know. Because Kaepernick asked for it to be either on a Thursday so that teams could actually like see him or something.
Yeah.
Or could they do it the week after or something? Because they're just springing it on him like now.
He said he's ready though.
Yeah.
So he said he's been working out for 3 years. Like he's ready to go. Like he wants this.
And I thought Eric Reed, Panther safety, the one that protested with him, he basically quoted Malcolm X where it's like, if you stick a 6-inch knife in my back and you take it out 3 inches, it's like, it's not
pretty good. Yeah. I mean, I think it's going to be real interesting when he doesn't make a team after this tryout, we'll call it. And I'm excited. Oh, yes. Yes, he could be the Bear. We went over this last night. He could be the Bears starting quarterback. He could probably be the Steelers starting quarterback if he is what he was. He could at least be the Jets backup. He could easily be the Dolphins starting quarterback. List goes on and on. He could be the Panthers backup right now. Like, there's a lot of teams that he could be the backup on, and there's a handful of teams he could be the starter on. So I'm just interested to see what happens when none of those teams pick up. Redskins, he could start there.
Brian Hoyer and the Colts.
Yep, the Colts could definitely use him right now. I'm just interested to see what happens when he doesn't get signed.
Will the NFL spew to not have him in now?
Yeah,
because they're trying to do this. I think they're doing this for spin and being like, "Oh, we gave him a
chance."
Yeah, no one.
I think this is Roger Goodell saving face. It's like, well, I did what I could. It's now on the coaches and GMs.
Mm-hmm.
It's not my fault. I tried my best to get Kaepernick in the league. Which, good for him. That's save your own ass. Why not? GMs aren't going to help you. The owners aren't going to help you. Sure. Go for it, man. I love it.
There's not really
I hope
much
he makes it.
Other than
I hope he makes a team. That I think it's this league would be better once all of this is behind them.
100%. And then it'll just prove even more that the NFL was a joke for not having him in the league for all these years.
Or maybe it'll prove that they were right. Maybe that's the thing that happens. Maybe Kaepernick come back and he looks like Johnny Manziel.
But then I would say, what do you expect from a guy that hasn't played football in 3 years?
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah. He could be the backup on Arizona. He could be the backup on Atlanta.
Mm-hmm. He might be the starter there right now. No? Is Matt Ryan back yet? Is Matt Ryan back? Okay.
He could be the backup in Buffalo. He could be the backup in Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
Because of Will Greer. He could be the starting quarterback for Chicago.
Yep.
He could be the starting quarterback for Cincinnati.
Yeah. Especially if they're going to keep benching Andy Dalton.
He could be the starting quarterback for Cleveland. I kid. He could be the backup.
I don't think so. He could be the backup, yeah. I don't think it.
Cooper Rush and Dallas Cowboys.
I think he could be the starter for New England. I think if Cleveland comes to you and says, "Yeah, man, we'll sign you," you go, "You know what? It's okay. Thank you."
He could be the starter for Denver.
Yeah.
Detroit right now with Jeff Driscoll.
Yeah.
Green Bay, their backup. Houston, their backup. Like, it's literally every team in the league. Indy, their starter. Kansas City, Matt Moore. I don't want to go through every team, but there's
we've listed off enough in that little section.
You be the backup quarterback for.
Yeah.
And I would say 2 or 3 the starter right now, at least.
Yeah.
Thursday picks. The matchup is the Pittsburgh Steelers, the 5-4 Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah, holy shit. Where'd they come from?
Minka Fitzpatrick, that's where they came from.
Just one guy on the defense just changed everything in Pittsburgh. Basically. Now they know how to play offense too, apparently. Yeah. Holy.
Well, I mean, he's okay. Minka Fitzpatrick has more touchdowns than Odell Beckham Jr. and Devontae Adams, but
OBJ is just a comfortable secondary third receiver now because Kareem Hunt is the secondary receiver now.
Hold on. They started to target Odell a lot this week. I will say that.
He had the third most receptions on the team. He was literally behind. Yeah.
But they targeted him.
I love having Kareem Hunt in that offense just because he's that weapon that like he didn't have
having a domestic violence.
Okay, no. Like I love having a Kareem Hunt like player, regardless of the name.
The skill set of Kareem Hunt.
Yeah. Like, yeah, he's an idiot, but I mean he's still in the league, so take advantage of it. And he went out there, had 77 all-purpose yards. I think 44 of them were receiving. It's sweet because now you have Nick Chubb running for 120, and then you have Kareem Hunt behind that who can catch the ball and make plays with his legs. Watch out for the Browns, man. They might surprise you.
I would assume that we're all going to take Cleveland this week.
Morrow has yet to respond, so I feel like he just lost this week.
I would agree, but then again, there's another day, so.
Oh, he does have time. You're right.
He made up like 2 or 3 games this week. I think he's only like maybe 2 or 3 out still now.
Yeah.
He's creeping back up.
Dude, I had a 3-11 week? Woof. I now hold the 2 worst weeks and the 2 best weeks in our fucking football picks thing.
And you're second.
Talk about consistency. Woo!
Yeah. This game's interesting because I don't trust the Steelers offense at all, but the best unit on the field is the Steelers defense though.
Yeah, that's.
And I think Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt pairing makes a big difference. I think Cleveland wins.
Yes.
Look, should we move on to probably the biggest sports story of the week?
Yeah, we talked for 45 minutes about Don Cherry, and that's probably not even the biggest actual story in sports.
The Houston Astros are the biggest cheaters ever.
Yes. Forget the Patriots. Welcome 2017 Houston Astros and onwards because they're still doing it. Because
so do you want to preface the story?
Yes. So 2017, there was a video that went out. Well, actually, there was a story that came out first. Was it the story first? Was it the story first?
Mike
Fiers comes out and says, Mike Fiers pitched for the Astros from 2015 to 2017. He's now with the Oakland Athletics. And he came out and said, I think this needs to be this wrong needs to be righted. Essentially, he's like, the Astros essentially are cheating. He goes, it's a known fact among the league, and for the guys that do know, they know what to do about it. But essentially, the Houston Astros are using video to relay signs to their batters, and everyone's like, "Holy shit, this is nuts!" So this one guy actually, Farquhar was talking about it. And he goes, yeah, when I was pitching, I noticed them banging on what he thought was the bat rack, and every time I was throwing a changeup. So this guy goes out, pulls up the video evidence. He's like, all right, check it out. So fastball, no banging, changeup, and then all of a sudden,
Jomboy underscore
Jomboy, right?
Yeah, underscore.
Yeah. So he goes, shows the thing, fastball, nothing. Throw down the changeup, and as soon as he throws down the 3 fingers and pulls it back up, you hear boom, boom. And sure enough, changeup fouls it off. So it's a full pitch sequence, and I think it was like a 7 or 8 pitch at bat. And then finally, Farquhar goes, come here, calls the catcher out, tells him he's throwing a changeup, sends the catcher back, and strikes him out because I think it was Gaddis. McCann, one of the two. They look stupid on the changeup because they didn't know it was coming. So it's now it's a ridiculously big story because this previous playoff, the Yankees were saying the Astros were in the dugout whistling anytime there was breaking balls being thrown. And essentially they were still stealing signs. And the Astros are fucking assholes is basically the moral of that story. Correct?
Well, sorry.
The Astros are fucking assholes.
Yep. They're the worst organization in baseball.
Yes. Slime balls, every one of them.
Can you tell me,
except Altuve?
Is there a different? No, fuck them all. I hate Altuve.
Altuve, who won the 2017 MVP.
Is there any difference between this and taking steroids?
No. This is almost worse.
I would say it's worse because it's the entire team.
Yeah. And they all know about it. Everyone in the organization knows about it. The goddamn pitching staff knew about it because Mike Fiers didn't hit, and he knew about it. That is horseshit.
It's a unfair edge that they have every team in the league, and it's different than you could say, oh, well, every team is stealing signs. This is different. They're literally relaying the signs to the team in an unfair way where you can't watch the video footage live.
No.
Because you can relay the signs.
Yep.
And
it's stealing signs. I get it. I've done it as a baseball player. Like, yes, if you find what
at second base, that's fine. Steal the sign.
You find every way you can to be competitive within reason. You're now going outside of that to like full on cheat and use technology that you're not supposed to have access to relay signs to everyone on your team, regardless of where your base runners are. And it's one thing that when you're literally looking at signs, that's fine. You can relay that, but you're literally searching for these signs so that you can give your team an advantage. It's brutal. Right.
So listen to this. I was explaining the situation to my brothers yesterday, and my little brother, who's this innocent little kid, he's in grade 9 though, but like
little enough.
He's super innocent.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you saw in the news this week, but there was this Fortnite player, this YouTuber that was banned for using basically an aim locator, like it locks onto the opponent.
Shit.
So, but he was doing it for a video or something. So they banned it. And basically any video he makes, any account, they're just gonna ban it as soon as if he makes it again. Jesus. So he made this video. He cried about it. He made 25 grand off the video alone on YouTube.
Boy. Profit off of loss. That's
so there's like using that, which my little brother's like, well, that's not necessarily that isn't what this is. It's not using like an aim locker or whatever they
but it is.
But he said it's like this. There's this other tool that like you can look through a wall and you can see that an opponent is there. Yeah. He's like, that's what it is, because you still have to hit the ball and you still have to shoot the target, right? So you're cheating, but you're not. You still have to hit the ball. You still have to shoot the person.
I can tell you from experience that it's a lot easier to hit a breaking ball when you know it's coming.
And you know it's coming.
Yeah. Like I've had teams that are like, you'll pick out. We won an OBA championship this year. That was probably that was probably the smartest team we've ever had. We picked up on so much shit that like most teams don't. We just had a bunch of smart guys on our team. There was this one series we played, and the catcher literally was throwing signs out like 5 inches in front of his knees. So our coach is like, all right, pick up on that and relay it somehow. So we came up with this. I don't remember the system, but like essentially the way you're like cheering on your batter, if you say a certain thing, you know a breaking ball is coming. That was the easiest at-bats I've ever had. Because I'm sitting there, I don't have to sit fastball. I can sit back and I can tee off on that curveball when it comes in and drops down. And I'm like, I'm not swinging up here. I'm swinging down here where the pitch is going to be. So as a major league player,
you're just geared back on your weight.
Dude, if you know a curveball is coming as a guy that can take that curveball and hit it 450 feet, that's a hell of a lot easier. Yes, you still have to hit the ball, but it's a lot easier to hit the ball when you know where it's going to be.
The interesting thing is, I think that they should be stripped of the World Series, but I don't think that you.
No.
I don't know how it would be done. I would just be like a black mark in the league, and I don't think that this story is as big as it should be.
Ban the Houston Astros. Fuck it. You ban Pete Rose, ban Houston Astros.
Honestly, like for real though, like this organization's just been a shit show.
Fire Jeff Luno. I don't even know how to pronounce that idiot's name. Fire their owner. Fire AJ Hinch. Nah, he's fine. No, he's a dick. Fire AJ Hinch. Suspend everyone. Anyone that was on the 2017.
I honestly believe so. Like, I don't think that anyone that was associated with the team should still be associated with that team.
Nope. I think everybody that was involved on that team has to face some sort of repercussion for this. You could even Mike Fires, like, good on you for coming out and saying it, but you knew at the time.
I would wait for the entire year to be over, the entire offseason to be over. Like if they re-sign Garrett Cole, that's fine. But then I'd be like, oh, you're ineligible for next year's postseason.
That's got to be the first time that's ever happened. Right?
To load off of veterans, like you can't trade a player
your trades are turned off.
You can't.
MLB The Show settings trades are off. Good luck. Have fun. Enjoy your run without having anyone. I would say it before the off season starts though, because then like I think that's unfair to like I think that's unfair to a guy like say Didi Gregorius goes there, and I guess he wouldn't. There's a shortstop there. Give me anyone, just like any free agent that's just like, oh yeah, Houston's got a good team. I know they're in some shit right now, but it should be fine. And then they go there, and it's just like, yep, no, sorry, you're not allowed to play in the postseason this year. That kind of sucks.
Sure, I don't care.
I think that's unfair to that guy.
I don't care. No, because like there should be punishments for that team. Period.
I think it's more of a punishment if you tell everyone now, because if I'm Steven Strasburg, let's say, maybe the Astros are on your radar. And if they're not going to be a postseason team and you know that they're not allowed to be in the postseason this year, why the fuck would I want to go there?
Sure.
So then you're going to miss out on a lot of big name free agents if that's the case, right? I think that'd be a fun punishment. I don't think it's doable, but I think it's fun.
Thank you.
That would be awesome. I love it.
Well, I mean, they do,
but then it's a nice year off for guys like Correa and Altuve.
Where it's like, oh, you're like in college sports where you're banned from postseason play. I don't think it should only be 1 year. I think it should be 2. Like when teams like they face.
I would love to see if they can figure out whether or not they were stealing signs against the Yankees.
They were.
Like,
well,
but
Aaron
they haven't.
Oh.
They have no. Yeah, that was funny. His tweet, but they have no physical evidence of it right now. They just like yes, they were.
You see the Trevor Bauer thing?
I don't think so.
He basically made an edit of Bregman hitting a home run off of him, and then it was the
Trevor Bauer is like the king of social media.
Yeah,
when it comes to sports. Fuck the Astros. Oh, what a bunch of slime balls. I'm so glad the Nats beat them.
Oh, agreed.
I hope they were also stealing signs against the Nats because you were stealing signs and you still couldn't beat them. That's how good they were.
I'm sure they probably were stealing signs.
I hope they were. That's awesome. Awesome.
Cheaters never prosper.
Awesome. They lost at home too. So they were stealing at home and they still couldn't win.
But also, like, look, this organization is trash. We saw it this year with the Taubman guy.
Yep.
You're trash. You take a chance on Osuna.
You signed Osuna.
Yep. You're trash.
They're brutal because they were wow, I forgot the word, but they released that other young prospect guy they had that did the same thing that Osuna did, and they're like, yeah, we don't condone this. It's not something we want our
organization at the time, like Osuna.
Yep. Once you get there, then you're if you're good enough to help the team, then yeah, we condone this. But if not, no.
Mm-hmm.
Stupid. Team's a bunch of pieces of shit.
Yeah.
Worse than Don Cherry.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, if you're outraged by the Don Cherry story, sorry.
From a sports perspective, they're worse.
Yep. If you're outraged by the Don Cherry story, go have some fun with this one. Because this is bullshit. Just brutal. Brutal.
It's not that they cheated. Yes.
Yes.
The players put in work. Yes. They
sure. There's a lot of talent
advantage that no other player had.
No, there's a lot of talent on that team, and they could legitimately win a World Series if they weren't cheating. They're good enough to do it. But so are the Yankees, and they got screwed.
They didn't do it naturally.
No,
and maybe the MLB should just they don't recognize the 2017 winner.
Could be. Just a big asterisk on the whole thing. There was no 2017 World Series champion. Let's just give it to the Dodgers.
No.
I just think the Dodgers need some love. They've tried so hard.
The Astros can recognize themselves as champions, but I don't think baseball should.
I would.
You can still hang your banner.
The real 2017 champions just coming up into the Raptors. We did it, boys.
Got his ring.
Everyone's getting rings. Hey, I love it. Go Dodgers. Go 2017 Dodgers. Fuck the rest of
them. Quick baseball news. The Jays are looking to trade young players from their team for pitching. So that's not a shocker.
No.
Trading a Danny Jansen or Reese McGuire, because I think Jansen had a poor year last year, but I still think he's the catcher of the future. I wouldn't trade him. Trading Reese McGuire makes absolute sense if you're getting I
don't like it.
A Tyler Thornton level player for Reese McGuire. Fine. Yeah. Good.
Tyler Thornton,
pitcher, if they hit like that, then they're fine.
Yeah.
They could be in the back end of your rotation.
Yeah.
I think that's what they should be doing. They should be taking chances on that. The
Sure.
Lordy stuff doesn't make a ton of sense to me.
None to me, but
because he's looked good in the outfield. He's looked really good.
Yep. And once he came back up last year, he was easily a 2-3 guy in your lineup.
Yep.
Easily. And if he's healthy, he's a 2-3 guy.
So that's the worry, that he is injury prone. Maybe it's a flash in the pan.
Yep.
It's not hard to find outfielders.
It is when they throw like that. Holy shit. That guy had 8 or 9 outfield assists last year in half a season. I'll take that any day. He turned into a defensive wizard somehow. I don't know. Went from the infield to the outfield and just started throwing everybody out and their mother.
Quickly.
Yep.
Are we done with this? Or because it's just
speculation. I don't really like trading one of the two catchers. I really like the platoon they have. Yeah. I understand if you're going to get something good back for it, but I'm not a big fan of losing one of them. I don't think, at least not right now. Who?
I don't think Reese McGuire is that good.
Yeah, I think I think that last little bit of a season was a bit of a flash in the pan.
Exactly.
But we'll see. Maybe that's Reese. Who knows?
I don't know. So just back to the Kaepernick thing for a second.
Okay.
Schefter just tweeted, after initially agreeing to provide the list of personnel executives and coaches that would attend Kaepernick's workout, the NFL has reversed course and said it will not. So that's whatever. NFL being shady. But then several executives with teams have reached out as a courtesy to Colin Kaepernick's representatives, saying they could not attend Saturday's workout and were confused by the purpose of the NFL scheduling this workout. So I think this just proves credence that the NFL's kind of shit for doing this, especially on a Saturday.
Yeah.
Why don't you do it during the middle of the week when teams can attend?
When nobody's doing anything?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought that was...
I still hope he gets signed.
Agreed. 100%.
Against all odds. I love it.
All right. I don't know if you watched it because it was at 10:30 at night.
I watched the end of the Lakers game, third and fourth quarter, but I didn't watch
that shit was fucking fun, though.
Lakers was fun. I'm assuming the Clippers was too.
Both games were extremely fun because I have said this. I will probably continue to say this. Even though that there is like a 1% chance this team could win a title this year, this team is more fun than last year. Maybe it's just because Kawhi is just not extremely fun, outgoing character, even though he's a fun guy.
Maybe it's because Chris Boucher is going to win the MVP award.
Bro, that kid, and I hate Chris Boucher sometimes, but like he looks so good. That block he had against the Clippers and Montrezl Harrell.
The one he had on LeBron too, was it not? I think.
And then he had blocked LeBron and Anthony Davis.
Mm-hmm.
I was just like, where is this guy, and why don't they play like this all the time?
Yeah.
I just thought that they're just an extremely fun watch. And I think a key takeaway from the Clippers game, watching the Clippers, was I think that the move to Kawhi to the Clippers was not about winning a title. Because if you look at that team and you look at the Raptors, if the Raptors had Kawhi, they're a better team than even the Clippers if you add Paul George. Because the Raptors gave them a run for their money without Kyle Lowry and Serge Ibaka.
And OG.
Kawhi. Yeah, and OG. Right? And without Kawhi. If you're saying both teams have Kawhi, Clippers have Paul George, I think the Raptors are a better team. And here's my fatal flaw with the Clippers. The Clippers have no playmaking.
Okay.
Like, they don't have a point guard.
Yeah.
Patrick Beverley is a defensive lockdown defender, but he can't create shots for other people. I think he's a career...
He's not Kyle Lowry.
Like 3 assists a year, 3 or 4.
Yeah.
He's not a playmaker. They have great isolation scorers with Kawhi, Paul George, and Lou Williams, but I think that's their one fatal flaw. I think they need a point guard because they don't have one right now.
They need someone to get them the ball.
Yeah, and I think that like that's my one thing about like crowning them. They shouldn't be as big of a favorite as they are. Like I think that it's if you tell me Philly, Milwaukee, Boston even, but I don't but Clippers, Lakers, Nuggets, like it's still up for grabs.
To play devil's advocate on that one, how hard is it to get a guy that moves the ball though? Like if you get midseason, you can make a deal. Like you don't need an all-star of a point guard. You just need someone that knows how to pass the ball well. Like you get a guy like Fred VanVleet. Fred VanVleet can dish the ball to anyone.
No, I agree, but the Raptors wouldn't give him up.
As of right now, you're right. I'll give you that. But like, I don't think it's that hard to bring in a guy that can run that offense.
But like, I think a lot of it is like chemistry, and I don't know if they have that right now. And especially like playoffs get tough. I think it's the the systems that you've seen Kawhi be good in is San Antonio and Toronto, and the ball movement is key with both teams. And this is kind of the opposite. So I think that I just don't think we should crown them right away.
Okay.
I kind of like the Lakers more still. I don't know. Like
they have LeBron James. You're always going to like
basically, and LeBron Anthony, and like I think Anthony Davis can eat against them.
Yep.
I think so. That's just a thing. All right. Second thing.
Okay.
Build Kawhi at you. Not
Why?
Because.
Why?
Okay. Listen. Let me.
Yeah, I saw you put this in there, and I'll just go.
Okay. It's not for winning a title.
Okay.
It's for the moment that the shot was. If you watch back that shot, a statue of the shot because it was so big.
Right. It's one of the bigger moments in Toronto sports history.
More than the player that Kawhi was, it's the moment.
Right.
And
yeah.
I do think that immortalized.
Fair? Yeah, I don't disagree. But we also don't have like a Joe Carter jumping up and down statue. We don't have a Jose Bautista bat flip statue.
We should have a Joe Carter one.
Yeah. Should we have a Bautista one?
No.
I think people nowadays remember the Bautista one more than like I think that's more iconic than like this generation. But I don't know. It also didn't win anything.
That's
like,
my thing.
It won like an ALDS, which at the time, you know what? It had been 25 years. That was pretty huge. The series win it all. It's just like, let's go. It's like the Leafs winning a playoff series. It's kind of like the same feeling. It's like we finally did it. But yeah, I don't. It was one of the bigger sports moments in Toronto sports history.
That's my thing. Like outside of Joe Carter's home run, like singular moments in sports history, and it helps that you went on to win a title. Yeah. It's not. It's what I'm saying is it like I was watching these like people make these documentaries on like YouTube and stuff, and just like watching the different angles and stuff. It just recognizes how big that it was, like the moment.
Yeah. It's funny looking back.
The legend row for the Leafs.
The what?
The legend row for the Leafs.
Oh yeah, okay.
What did Matt Sundin win?
Win nothing, but like he was. What was he on? I think he has the most power play points. He's the most something in like NHL history. He's second now. Yager passed him, but like, I mean, that's
it's fair. It's not for. Well, if we're talking individually, he's the best. Kawhi was probably the best Toronto athlete ever. Like individually, like just how good he actually was.
Yeah, he did
carry. It's not even for that. It's for the moment.
Yeah. Okay. I like that. I don't hate. I was kind of wondering what you were trying to get at with it when you put it in there. I'm like, that's interesting. But I can see that.
Like, I didn't want to.
We should have a statue. We should just have like an area of statues for just great moments in Toronto sports history.
Agreed.
Not just the Kawhi thing. Like I think there should be some just around Toronto, like, or at least around the downtown area where literally both buildings are sitting. Like you have the Scotiabank Arena and the Rogers Center. Why not have statues out there of great things that have happened in this franchise?
Agreed. Like, okay, let's spitball here because we still have a couple minutes, like 10 minutes before the Leafs game starts.
Yep. Like, give me an Austin Matthews ear thing because yes.
Relax. Okay. Joe Carter, the Joe Carter one, I think needs to be made.
Yep.
Batista bat flip, you can sell me on.
I'd put it in.
But I think
it's tough to sell me on the Edwin bat drop.
You could.
It wasn't as big. I was there and it was sick, but like it wasn't as big.
If you're looking at the Raptors, I think the Raptors need a Kyle and DeMar statue together. Just because like they were an entire era of the Raptors. You need a Vince Carter one.
Yep.
Yeah.
The it's over thing. That'd be fun. I think Robbie Alamar's ALCS.
Yep. Yeah. It was against Eckersley.
Yep. That was big. Can we do Matt Sundin in a Vancouver jersey beating us in his return? No? Is that a statue we could put up?
I don't think so.
Okay, can you name me a big moment in Leafs history?
No, probably not. Austin Matthews 4 goals.
Yeah. All of the statues are just Austin Matthews around it.
So the Cy Young Awards just came out.
Yeah, saw that.
DeGrom and Verlander. Verlander barely edged out Cole.
Okay, that's kind of what I was expecting.
12 vote points.
It was close. It was a close race. What about DeGrom? What was that race like? Was that unanimous or did you? No,
I don't think it was unanimous, but pulling up. All right, the 10 biggest Toronto sports moments in the last 50 years.
Okay.
The bat flip.
Wow.
The Pan Am Games. Relax. Cassie Campbell's 2002 gold. Ben Johnson, dope legacy.
Okay.
Muhammad Ali fighting in Canada.
Okay. I don't really like this list.
Donovan Bailey? Sure.
Okay. Sure.
Donovan Bailey one was big.
Sure. This is the last how many years?
The dunk contest from Vince Carter. I think the dunk contest one is the through the legs one. Here.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that'd be cool too.
Yeah, I think that's the shot. The 67 cup.
Yeah.
And then he's winning the World Series.
Yeah. Can we have a black and white statue? Like, is that a thing when you put the Leafs one up? Like, can we just?
I mean, all statues are like bronze.
Bronze. I know. Can we make this one black and white just to recognize the fact?
It's Vince.
Maybe silver. Like, it's a little different than the rest of the statues because fuck, we haven't done it.
Yo, how about we get? You remember the John Gibbons SI cover? How about we just make a statue?
The one with all the. Remember the one with like all the it was like Reyes and that one. Yeah,
that one.
Yeah,
with Price.
I think the one with like Reyes and Dickey and all them. Like, I think we should get that. Or I think we should have John Gibbons and Ted Lilly just brawling. That'd be fun too. God, I can't believe we brought that guy back.
The new Jacks. It's Edwin, Tulo, Price, Gibby, Russ, Joey Bats, and Donaldson.
I think Donaldson could get a statue.
I do think like you could make Edwin, Joey Bats, and
Donaldson
statue.
I think Donaldson doesn't get enough credit for what he did here. Like,
no, I agree.
It was at a time when baseball was so shit, and like he came in and was so fun to watch. And, like,
that's
he was just electric for the city.
I'll credit Marcus Stroman also with like turning around the city in a way.
Mm-hmm.
Like he was in 2015, 2016, like they changed Toronto sports in a way. Like I think you can credit them not really for the Raptors' success, but like they helped change the aura of Toronto.
In a sense, like, they paved a way for Kawhi to come in here and do what he did.
Yep. They energized the entire fan base.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, it's interesting. It's cool.
Yeah, I like it.
So we have 3 or 4 statues.
It's a small statue. We're not very successful in Toronto, despite being the biggest city in Canada.
No.
We're not very successful. We'll get there. Austin Matthews.
Yeah. We get it. Awesome.
William Nylander, the greatest winger in Leaf history.
Marlander Thews.
Marlander Thews?
Statue. Yeah. All right. So I think that's it for this week. Hopefully we'll all be back together Saturday. Until next time. Peace.